A look of New York City this morning and, of course, part of Super Bowl Boulevard, where all the excitement is building for this weekend's Super Bowl on Sunday. Some of those visiting the Big Apple are, in fact, Arizona officials picking up some tips and ideas as they look ahead to next year's Super Bowl, which will be in Glendale. And Ryan O'Donnell is live outside the stadium. He's already standing in line for tickets this morning. Ryan?
I'll tell you what, I'd rather be a part of the Arizona Super Bowl committee, because what a great excuse to go watch this year's Super Bowl there on the East Coast. You know, a big group of people, they're out there trying to learn as much as they can, because we've got the Super Bowl here in Glendale next year. Now, they're catching up with all sorts of different organizations like the NFL. Now, the last time Arizona hosted a Super Bowl was back in 2008. This was Super Bowl 42, the Giants versus the Patriots. A huge upset back in 08 there, with the Giants winning 17-14. You might remember that game. Now, with that event under their belt, the committee headed to New Jersey to talk with officials from the NFL, New Jersey, and the city of New York to go over logistics, security, and other aspects of the game. Also getting on board right away, the Greater Phoenix Economic Council. They're getting into the action early, calling this week the start of a 12-month push by using next year's Super Bowl as leverage to bring more developments to the area. Now, already you can find websites using the game to attract businesses to certain cities in the valley. Now, the Super Bowl estimated to bring in around $500 million, so probably no surprise that the cities are jumping in early here, wanting to get a piece of that pie. Now, next year's Super Bowl is scheduled to be February 1st here at the University of Phoenix Stadium. Scott?
Ryan, thank you for that. After Sunday, the Super Bowl torch is officially in our hands. And as Ryan has been talking about, the 2015 Super Bowl right here in the Valley over at the University of Phoenix Stadium. As you can see, azsuperbowl.com went live earlier this week. The site offers plenty of information for those planning to go to the Super Bowl, with links and email updates on the big day. And, of course, they'll have all the information on all the Super Bowl parties. I know you're going to hit every single one of them.
I'll be outside going, can I come in?
So true. Well, as we get closer to Super Bowl 48, the fanfare surrounding the game continues to build. Andrew Spencer takes a look at how everything is coming together ahead of the big game.
The Denver Broncos are getting ready, and so are the Seattle Seahawks. Getting closer and closer to Sunday's big game, Super Bowl mania is underway from this zoo to this one. The security, the bets, and the catching of counterfeits, it's all in preparation for Super Bowl 48. As far as the players go, they're getting ready for the biggest stage they can play on.
I think these are the two best teams in the NFL, and you know, best quarterback in, you know, maybe NFL history, and it's going to be a tremendous challenge for both sides, and I think that's what makes the game so big.
This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for a number of guys. I think you have to enjoy the process.
Who will win is anybody's guess. Anybody, of course, includes Eli the orangutan at Utah's Hogle Zoo. He chose Seattle to win. His 6-year streak of correct guesses might actually be useful in Reno, where casinos are reportedly taking in about $100 million in bets. Of course, you can't have a Super Bowl without Super Bowl ads. Cue the animals one more time. Police are also cracking down on fake merchandise and, even worse, fake tickets, which scam people out of thousands of dollars. Bruno Mars is literally heating up the mic ahead of the halftime show with as cold as it's been at MetLife Stadium.
I'm grabbing the mic and it's frozen. So it's just stuff like that that's we're taking into consideration and getting some heaters on everything.
Part of Times Square in New York has been transformed into Super Bowl Boulevard, with all kinds of football and non-football activities going on. And then, of course, there's the big game in New Jersey. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
Oh, yeah, that big game, right? Well, after Sunday's big game, the focus of the Super Bowl turns to Arizona.
Yeah, it was just a year to go until Super Bowl 49 makes its way to Glendale. We are all so excited about that. David Rousseau is chairman of the Arizona Super Bowl Host Committee. And guess what? He's on the phone this morning, live from New York, as they like to say. David, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're terrific. You know, we had the Super Bowl here a few years ago. Do you think you need to do things much differently than we did then?
Well, that was a very successful effort. So we hope we aspire rather to at least live up to that high bar that they set back, our predecessors set back in 2008.
We know that you are there back east right now to take a look at the way things are being handled back there. What have you guys learned so far, and what are you hoping to learn this weekend?
Well, New York's a big city, and I think I don't know that they're paying attention to the fact that the Super Bowl is necessarily here in town and intersecting all things New York. But it's been a very eye-opening experience for us. Super Bowl Boulevard that unfolds on Broadway is quite the spectacle, and we're envisioning how that's going to look back in Arizona.
You know, the thing that's so much different here is that you have a bunch of cities, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Glendale, you know, spread out across the valley. So you have a lot of space to take advantage of. Is that what you're going to try to do?
Yeah, I think our goal is to highlight everything that's great about Arizona and what makes it a great place to live and work. And we're going to have the world's lens to do that through. And we're as you know, we're a regional city or regional valley that's comprised of numerous cities, and we're going to try to highlight everything that's great about the various cities and that helps tell that story.
You just mentioned world's lens. We know that we're going to have media outlets here from all over the world, 5,000 of them. And I was reading that the host committee is really going to capitalize on that and use this as an opportunity to bring in more tourism dollars.
Absolutely. I think we're partnering with Arizona Office of Tourism and the Convention and Visitors Bureaus from around the valley. And I think that just speaks to what a tremendous opportunity this is. We're going to, everything that you're hearing about the New York game obviously will be our comparative advantage in terms of how great the weather is going to be a year from now in Arizona, and I think that's going to prompt a lot of folks to hopefully schedule trips to follow up. And then the group that's there, we're going to do the best job of hosting them so that they'll come back.
Well, speaking of that, you are there in New York City. Obviously, it's cold. I mean, is the weather really going to affect things? Has it so far with all the fans?
Well, I think it's certainly had a dulling effect of a lot of enthusiasm that otherwise might have been focused on New York's unique effort in a cold weather market, open air stadium to host a game. And that's unfortunate. Arizona's going to look great regardless. But there's been, I think the enthusiasm has dampened a little bit. You hear about tickets being available and suites being turned back over for lack of interest in people getting here because of the massive attention that their cold streak has had.
Well, I don't think we'll have that issue.
No,
I mean, even if we have a cold streak in January, we're not going to be talking about Snowmageddon around here. Well, at least hopefully not next year.
By the way, David, real quick.
My definition of a cold streak in Arizona is you might have to grab a sweater.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Kaylee and I, real quick, are going to be, reporting on the Super Bowl next year. So, we don't need tickets on the 50-yard line, but, 45 or 40, something like that would be.
We like nosebleeds, too.
That would be fine. It doesn't really matter. Just see you.
No problem. That's the first request I've had. So
sure.
Put you down.
David Rousseau on the phone with us live.
Enjoy the game on Sunday.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay.
Enjoy it.